Lascian Corla. Minister, look for an update on the new build for Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire in the city centre, and could you make a statement on the matter, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Deputy. The new build for Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire is a large-scale capital project for the construction of a 16-classroom primary school in Dublin 1. The building project to complete the new build for Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire at Dominic Street is at stage 3 of the architectural planning process, tender action and award. The Department can confirm that following a confidential conciliation process concerning all matters in dispute between the Department and the original contractor, the conciliator has now issued a formal recommendation for the resolution of those disputes, and that recommendation has now been accepted by both parties. Following conclusion of the conciliation process, my department has instructed the design team to ready a tender for the completion contract on the school in Dominic Street. This process is expected to take between 4 to 6 weeks to publish the tender, with a view to having a contractor on site in early Q4 2026. It remains the Department's priority to deliver a new school building for Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire as quickly as possible, and Department officials will continue to work closely with the school authority. As you know, the new school build for Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire is a large-scale capital project for construction in Dominic Street. I might leave it there.
Thanks for that information, Minister. And the status of Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire was a very significant issue in the recent by-election when I was out canvassing with my colleague, Councillor Janet Horner. It was coming up on many doors. As you know, Minister, the works were suspended in May of 2025 by the Department, which was in that dispute with the contractor. There was that conciliation process, and the school itself actually moved to its current temporary site in December of 2025. And you've made the point that we have that recommendation. The fact that a recommendation was made by the conciliator, that was conveyed to the Board of Management, and they in turn went on to convey it to the parents. But you've provided some more and some useful information there today, Minister. But the fact is the parents haven't gotten a clear update since March of this year. So I think it would be really useful if your department could write clearly to the Board of Management and ask them to convey the information you've just given to me. And look, I'll put this up on social media, fine, but they should hear officially where the status of this project is at right now.
Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. And as you say, the design team have been instructed by the Department to ready the tender for completion contract. So the process will take 4 to 6 weeks to publish the tender, with the view to having the contractor on site of Q4 of this year. And each stage of the process is subject to due diligence by the Department within the context of overall programme and budgetary parameters. However, it does remain the Department's priority to deliver a new school building for Gaelscoil, Choláiste, Muire as quickly as possible, and Department officials will continue to work closely with the school authority and to meet with them on a regular basis. And as you say, Deputy, a number of issues arose on site, and the Department actively engaged with the design team and the contractor to discuss matters, but those unforeseen matters did lead to a delay in the project, and as a result the Department entered into a conciliation hearing to try to reach agreement on a solution to ensure the earliest possible delivery of the school while respecting its statutory obligations.
Again, thank you for that detailed information, Minister, but I just want to come back to that point of the communication element. That information needs to be communicated to the school management team, the Board of Management of the school, and it needs to be clear to them that they can share that information with parents, because this has been a very difficult situation. In fairness to the Department, a lot of work has been done, but there isn't clear lines of communication of getting that information to the parents. So I just ask you again that you'd make a note, that you would ask your officials to tell both the board and the principals, because sometimes principals in a difficult situation like that, they're worried that where there is confidential discussions going on, they're worried about sharing information. I think it's important that they know that they can share this information with parents. A final point, Minister, the students are on a temporary premises on Cathal Street at the moment. Obviously the build is going to take longer now, but it is hopefully going to recommence in Q4. do they have permission to stay in their current temporary accommodation until the build is finalised? Is that certain?
Minister.
Thank you. And just to say, we can contact absolutely the school in relation to this, but it's important to say that in accordance with standard practice and contractual requirements, the conciliation process is of a confidential nature, and therefore it wasn't appropriate to comment on the process. So the conciliator has issued a formal recommendation for the resolution of the disputes, and that recommendation has now been accepted by both parties. Just in relation to the department providing accommodation, more suitable accommodation to the current needs of the school in Cathal Street. So some small-scale refurbishment works at the building were carried out to provide a good interim accommodation solution for the school and include teaching and learning spaces for all of the children, for the classes, and education supports and sensory spaces, and adequate meeting and office spaces, a staff room, a communal area, and access to a safe outdoor space for those students. And the school, as you know, moved into those new premises in December of 2025. But I can get the department to engage directly with you on that last item.